All right, I think we are just about ready to get going. Looks like the sound should be good in OBS. All right. Okay, so for folks that might be new, if you haven't caught the stream before, we will be working on projects related to CircuitPython. This is the main page for CircuitPython. If you're brand new and you want to learn more about it, this is a good place to start. You could also join us on the Discord, which is the same chat that is showing on the bottom corner of the stream there. For this chat, I'm in the live broadcast chat room on the Adafruit Discord, but you can also find a couple other channels on there related to CircuitPython and some different other things related to all sorts of making and learning and projects and things like this. So CircuitPython, if you don't know what it is, I feel like I hear myself from somewhere. Let me shuffle through these windows. Okay, yeah, let's close that. And is this one going? This one's going too. Let me pause that. Okay, sorry there. I think we are good now. Had the stream playing back to me. So if you don't know anything about CircuitPython, it's a version of Python that can run on these tiny computers called microcontrollers. CircuitPython.org has a bunch of pictures of them in the background down here. If you scroll down the page a little bit, so you can see they come in all different shapes and sizes. They have different things built onto them by default. And the idea is these are little computers essentially that can control other pieces of hardware. So you can hook up sensors, you can hook up buttons and lights and buzzers and all sorts of things and control them with Python code that you write and save onto these little computers. So that is what the whole CircuitPython project is about. If you want to get involved, there's a contributing link on circuitpython.org up here on the top. You can head there. This is going to take you to a list of pull requests and open issues for the libraries. This is all Python code. So if you are brand new and maybe you don't have very much experience, this is a good place to start because it is going to be Python code. You can test out and review PRs that are open. You can also try to find an issue that interests you or that you have the hardware for, and you can try to work on it on the open issues side of things. And we do have lots of type annotation issues right now, so that is a good place to start. In some of the libraries, there's not a whole lot of changes needed. If it's a small library, some of the larger ones have quite a few, so you probably want to poke through a couple if you're new and find one that doesn't have too many things going on. On the issue page, there will be a list of code lines within the code that are missing the type annotations that we want to try to add. So that's what all of these issues are about. And these are the types of PRs that I will be reviewing a little while later after I do get done, if I do get done fixing the first thing I want to look at, which is a little bit of a bug in the screenshot utility. But let me wrap up the introduction. So this is how you can get involved in the project if you actually want to get into coding and reviewing and things like that. Another way that you can help out the project is just by purchasing hardware from Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. And these are the folks that are providing the primary financial backing behind CircuitPython. They pay the core developers and they pay several folks to work on things related to the project and the community. So if you purchase hardware from them, you are also helping out the CircuitPython project. This stream is not like a paid stream or anything. They're not paying me for this stream or to endorse the website or anything like this. I do work for them sometimes. I work on guides and other software and different things, videos and things. But this is just my own thing, and I do always just like to mention it at the top so that folks know, of course, that Adafruit does so much for the CircuitPython project, and to let folks know that that's a way to help out the project by purchasing hardware from them. So the first thing I want to look at today is in this library screenshot maker. So this is a tool that came out, I want to say, a few months back. I built a good chunk of this on the stream. I don't think I did 100% of everything, but The idea behind this tool is it's a Python script that you can run against a project folder, and then it will spit out an image that looks like the file system for that project. So like if you were to copy all the code files and other assets that you need for that particular project over to your CircuitPy drive, this might be what your file system would look like after you've done that. So this is a script that generates these images using PIL, the Python imaging library, and then it gets executed generally from GitHub Actions. So you can run it manually. That's what I do for testing, as you'll see once we dive into this. But the bulk of these actually are generated automatically by GitHub Actions. It just runs against the Learn Guide repo and makes screenshots of all those projects. And then it also runs against the bundle to make screenshots of the examples, which is the specific thing I'm looking into today. And so you can see, there's an empty line right here, and this is what we're trying to fix. I have a decent guess as to where I think this is coming from. So that's going to be the first thing I explore, is see if that's accurate, and then try to fix it if so, or otherwise figure out what is making this empty line right here. So a couple things I need to do before I can just dive right in. I need to probably open up this project in PyCharm. Let me do that. And I'll also need to grab the bundle, I think. So I have one, but I'll need to get the bundle loaded up as well. So here's that, actually. Let me do that. Go this window. And we'll open one more for the screenshot maker. Basically, I want to start by just trying to run this against a single example, or even a step further back is that I need to figure out exactly how it runs against the bundle. When I did a bulk of the work on this, I was really focused more on the Learn Guide repo. So this is going to be probably CircuitPython. Yeah, there we go. Let's go new window, this one. Yeah, so I focused a lot more on the Learn Guide stuff. I think maybe it was Jeff, I believe, or somebody else. If I'm incorrect about that, I apologize. But I think Jeff, again, or somebody else did basically reuse the same general tool that works on the Learn Guide projects to actually do the stuff in the bundle as well. So I'm less familiar with it. So I need to figure out how it actually runs on the bundle, which I think we will find in the actions for the bundle. So let's start exploring images. That seems promising. Okay, so I don't know, you could schedule cron stuff in actions. Does that mean this will run over and over? Okay, here we go. Checking out the screenshot maker. So we need to find the command it runs eventually. Generated images. Okay, here we go. Bundle. So we are finding libraries, substituting in the name of the library, substituting in the name of the example script, and then run create requirement images, passing in bundle. Oh, I don't know what this plus at the end would be doing. My guess is that these brackets we're passing in probably this string that we generated back here. The plus is a bit of a mystery to me, though. Okay, so is this just running? Looks like in the root of the bundle, right? Because we're alongside of libraries. is in the root? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so do a bundle, it looks like, is a command line argument. Is that... Let's verify that in here. Create requirement images. Bundle. Find anything? Bundle. Bundle data. Just trying to find the flag, high level, latest bundle data. Okay. And I don't, latest bundle data, I don't remember, that gets generated somehow, I think. Git grep, let's see if we can find grep latest bundle data.json. Let me do dash in. I need an alias. Does anybody know if you can alias multiple words like this? I want to make it, whenever I run git grep, I want it to actually put a dash in without me doing it. It opens it for reading, git imports, I see. No, this is still opening it for reading. Okay, I don't know what generates it. I'm pretty sure there's a copy of the JSON on the release page. Gets uploaded. So I guess the release action? Yeah, I think this is the same. This is the file. I guess something is just downloading it, maybe? I mean, it must be getting generated by something inside of here. I don't know what it is exactly, though. Head back here. I guess there's a latest bundle tag and a latest bundle data as well. Okay, tag is just the version number, basically. Maybe I just saved it. Maybe I just downloaded it. I mean, there would be something in here that creates it. Workflow, release, JSON. Build, maybe? Still just the one instance. Let's see if we find it in upload release assets. Maybe it's like build tools that does it. Also, I'm going to have to stop for just a second and set up the thing to block the sun. Be right back. Okay, that is better. Oh, and I did miss also, Dexter is running up today with a Pico and an AT-Tiny. AT-Tiny 817. Is that the new Seesaw? I feel like I saw something about there being a new Seesaw. Seesaw. Yeah, with stemma ports and stuff on it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have one of the older Seesaws like this, but it's really cool device, but it is not as convenient to use without the stemma ports and stuff. These are nifty little things. It's like a Swiss Army knife of an I/O expander. Can just add on so many new... It adds on so many pins that you're allowed to use in your project. Got it driving NeoPixels in this one. So you're running that with a Pico. Nice. Does that fit? It might fit like inside. It's stacked together real nice. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Okay, where do we, so let's see, is there like an upload release assets? Upload assets to S3. Upload release assets. Pattern bundles. So I guess, does it get generated when the make bundles runs or something like this? Build bundles, this here, build assets. Yeah. Okay, some of this is coming back to me. So I think it builds with something from CircuitPython build tools. Bad substitution. Oh yeah, this wants this wants a name. I think it will append it. Yeah, it will append it to the file it's creating. That's fine for now, though. Usually that would be, I think, the full name of the repo, or like, it's basically whether or not it's the community bundle, I think is what that's used for. It changes the name of the output assets. Let's see, where is this? Okay, here we go. So it built this. Does it make the JSON? Does not look like it made JSON file. Okay. Well, we know we can download it from here. I don't know where it originates from, but this is probably good enough to let us go on. Sure, latest bundle. Okay, so this is checking the tag file, it looks like. New version available. Bundle tag, so this is making the new tag file. Okay, does this actually download it? Files. So I guess maybe it will do it itself. Maybe it's going to download it when I run it. So possibly we could just find... What was this command? We're going to pass it libraries, and then a library, and then examples, and then a py file. I think we can do that after this part. So let me grab... For testing this, I'm just going to grab these two files, copy them, paste them into the root of the bundle. Don't want to add them. Guess I should probably pull too. Okay, taking a minute to update. That didn't do what I wanted. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. Here. So this is where it would be libraries. We'll say helpers. Drivers? Let's go drivers. Clue. Is it under, it's the clue library. Clue. Okay. Examples. Simple test. This thing still thinks it's running, which is not great. I don't know why it would be taking that long. Run main. Directory. Oh, that's a bummer. It's like everything. Okay, we're gonna reclone the bundle, it looks like. I don't know why this is doing this. Oh, I can't close it either. These windows, that's nice. Yeah. Let's cancel. Actually updated. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna clone a new bundle. I don't know. I must have messed up the version control somehow. Let's go here. Let's close this for now. Okay, we need to rename the old one because it already exists. I'm just gonna go old. We'll keep it. I don't know if I pasted some stuff into it over time that I might want to grab later, but let's clone that. And then we need to update it also. I made a alias for this finally. Sub update. I can just run sub update and it runs the commands to update all the sub modules. For the longest time I would go look that up in one of the learn guides. This shows up under recent projects, and even though we changed it and got a new one, I think it will we'll open the new one. even though it's technically different. Okay, so now we can copy these again. Let's go to here. Let's paste them back. We're definitely up to date now because we just cloned. We don't want to add. Images. All right. And I guess we don't need the folder on this. We would just say this, and then libraries, drivers, clue, examples. Not done running yet? It's not done running yet. I don't know why these are empty. Maybe just taking it a second to catch up. Or maybe it has to run something. Yeah, it has to run this part, I guess, the checked out. There we go. Now we should have files. Yes, okay. So examples. Let's go simple test. Cannot open. Okay, we need the font. Need the font. So let's go back to the root. It's this font here. I guess we're gonna need the images also, right? Whoa. Maybe it would have been better. Maybe it would be better. Let's delete these. Let's paste the whole folder and just run it the same way. Doesn't really matter, but let's do it that way. Imports. Yeah, it looks like some part of that did download this. Yeah. Let's grab this whole directory. Drop a copy of it here. Maybe that wasn't the best idea. Seemed to have frozen up my PyCharm. There we go. I just had it because it has a lot of files in it. And it got an idea folder also, and I guess it's a repo. Well, so PyCharm's just trying to do a bunch of stuff. I don't necessarily need it to this time, but is nice sometimes. Create bundle. Okay, libraries, drivers, clue, examples, clue, simple test. Okay, all right. Now where would that have put it? I think generated images. Oh. Okay, let me delete generated images. Run that again. See if it's smart enough to create it. Yeah. Not create it though, actually. Where would it have saved to? Create requirement images py. Okay, so sorry folks, I gotta just wrap my head back around how some of some of this stuff works, because we need to be able to run it so that we can just do it on a single one and then start trying to verify why it's actually having that problem. So where would it have outputted to? What happens when we run this? Where's main? Main. Okay, it's a click thing. Bundle. .imap. That's right. Example requirements image. Image name. Do we need to pass it the name? Is that why we didn't get anything? It should have gone into generated images. Maybe it doesn't like the fact that I deleted it. It's weird it didn't cause any error. It still didn't create it. So does this plus do something particularly important, I guess? Plus. It's probably got something to do with the way that it's finding images. Let's look in bundle actions. Let's look at one of the runs. Doesn't really tell us individual commands that it ran. This lists out all of those things, basically. Execute, I guess, must be part of find, and this allows it to execute a shell command on each one of them. And this would be substituting it in. Did it make? Okay, yeah, I'm being silly. Here we go. So it, I deleted the one inside of here, which is where they were before the last time I worked on this, because I was inside Screenshot Maker repo. Now I'm in the root of the bundle repo. It's making them relative to the root. So it created this one and it put it in here. So it did work. It's even worse though than... That's not good. It's even worse than the real one. It does have the blank space. Why would it be... Why would it be worse than the one that is getting generated by the actions? The joys of debugging sometimes. Revealing other bugs. This ran 7 hours ago. Generated images. Where does this push to? Folder images. Folder images. Blue. Simple. That's exciting. So 7 hours ago, this ran in GitHub Actions, and it created these, and they were lined up properly. Right now, I just ran the same code locally. And they're shifted down too far. Okay. Environments. Hello? Go back to the actions. Install dependencies. It's installed Pillow 8.4.0. I have the same version. Also, well, let's check that first. No. I have 7.0. Okay. But we just have a difference in the version causing that? Okay. Crisis averted. We got past that one. I don't know why that would be different. Must be a difference in the API somehow, setting the vertical location. I don't know what would account for that, or when it would have got fixed in the repo, or if I like had the newer version but somehow swapped back. But we are getting the same thing now, which is really good. So this one has the problem. I suspect the reason this gets messed up is that look inside a clue. There's this advanced examples folder. If we pick one like this that doesn't have a folder, I think it will not have that extra space. So drivers, char LCD, examples, char LCD, RGB, simple test. Yeah, see, this one doesn't have a problem. And it doesn't have that folder. So I think some part of the script is skipping that folder. It's not drawing it, the icon and the name. But some other part of the script that's calculating the y level, like where to place these things in the y orientation, is not skipping it. It's accounting for it and leaving an extra line. Or another possibility is maybe it's drawing it, but then replacing it with lib. That could be as well. And one thing about this is that with Learn Guide ones, they don't have this problem. I don't think. We need a different bundle learn. Let's find learn guides. So this one doesn't specify any extra arguments, so it's not targeting a single thing, it looks like. Doesn't even pass learn, actually. Maybe learn is default. Yeah, learn is default, looks like. I don't know if that needs to be... Yeah, I think I didn't get... Okay, missing the slash that time. So yeah, now it's creating a bunch of these. And I don't know. I don't know of one off the top of my head. MIDI? Maybe there a MIDI one? But some of these have extra folders. This is not cycling through only the ones I found. I'm gonna look back at something else. The last PR that I did on this screenshot maker was actually for making these subdirectories. Say what it's for. No, I didn't say what the project was. Neutral Sim4 MIDI synth. Yeah, see, this one has folders, and they get included, and they even get their contents drawn, which is nice. I think that's probably what we want to do. At least in some cases. I guess some cases we wouldn't need that. Like, we don't really need the advanced examples folder, which is what's inside the clue examples. But we do need, there's like a fonts folder in the bitmap font library, and we should include that. Either way though, this is working for Learn Guide projects, but not for bundle code. So let's start poking into that and see what the differences are. Which really is .imap. I'll have to look up that again. I think that's it's generating like a dictionary. It's kind of a list of files and stuff like that, I think. Files and directories, and then it also includes the contents of those directories. For example, generate learn requirement image. So yeah, these two things are different. Let's take a look at the high level here. So in learn, which is working, get an image name, we get a libraries for project, get a files for project, we generate requirement image from the files and the libraries and the image name. For examples, we get the image name, get libraries for example versus get libraries for project. Get files, for example. Generate requirements image. So that function is the same. We just pass in what we got. So probably the difference is inside of here. Get files, for example, versus get files for project. So let's go inside here. Wish this would have stayed in the window it was in. Okay. Project is working, example is not. Yeah, some of this is coming back to me. So it uses this os.walk. I must have been wrong on pool. I don't know what pool is doing. This is what I was thinking of. os.walk gives you like a kind of a dictionary type thing, or maybe a list with all the files and then all the directories, and then it also has all the contents of the directories as well. And this is what is making the projects show the subdirectories. Pretty sure. I guess I don't want to run this here. Let's look in the Learn Guide. Let's run Python import OS print. Actually, you know what? I have IPython, which makes it easier. So we need the Neotrellis. Let's do that one since we have the picture for that loaded up. Neotrellis M4 MIDI synth. Okay, yeah, we can't just print the whole thing because it's a generator for thing in print thing. Print anything. Because I'm inside of display text. There we go. Okay, yes, os.walk gives us this. This is what the project one is using to draw the directories and the sub directories. We have a MIDI folder, we have a samples folder, we have all the files that are inside of those. This actually tells us right here. These are the two directories. These are the files in the root. These are the files in the samples directory. It even keeps going. So inside of that samples, there's actually an ARP, and then these are the files in there. Inside of samples, there's also horn. These are the files in there. MIDI, this is the other top level subdirectory. These are the files inside of there, and there's no directories. Yeah, okay, so this is how those work in the projects. And so then my guess is in here, boy, I wish that would open to the same spot in the same window. It's always opening to the opposite window. Can I? Yeah. So I want to compare. Okay, so here's where it's doing the walking. And yeah, we have on files, CodePy, we start out with for file in list_dir only. So yeah, we don't have walk and any of the rest of that logic. So I think this is what we want to do to fix it, is make the logic in here, get files for example, match the logic in here, get files for project. In particular, the way it uses os.walk to find stuff. So let's start by doing this. The example dir instead of project dir. Okay, so we can, instead of lister, I think we'll be able to use this because we get it from our walk now. Level 2. Logic inside of here should be the same. Okay, this was... seems like a hacky way that it was trying to add the directories, actually, so I'm not sure... why it would have been skipping. So it's basically, the logic is like, it's not foolproof, certainly, but it's basically saying if there is a dot, then we assume it's because there's a file extension. If there's no dot, that means there's no file extension, that means it's a directory. So that's what this used to be doing. Spam chat on YouTube, thank you. I will see if I can... it's over there. Where is... okay. Oh wow, yeah. It's quite a bit. Can we just ban this person? Put user in timeout. Or report or remove. Oh, great. And then we get to... so I report it, and it says, thanks for reporting. We'll look at it. If it's a problem, we'll remove it. But it doesn't remove it automatically. And then there's no, like, remove all. We put user in timeout. Nope, that doesn't remove it either. All right. YouTube moderation interface, not the best in the world. Honestly, I don't keep the YouTube chat open. So I appreciate the heads up, because I do want to remove that. I should probably try to look into how I can just disable the YouTube chat. I encourage folks, if you are interested in chatting during the stream, Discord is the best place, but second best would be Twitch. I have the Twitch chat pulled up as well. But that basically occupies, those two occupy my other screen, and so I don't keep up with the YouTube. So if I could turn it off, that's probably what I should do. Okay. So I think we could add some logic kind of like this. after this for loop now. This is going to be example dir. Couple. I think there's probably some logic that's checking the type of the thing that's in here, and if it's a tuple, then it's doing what it needs to draw the full directory. So let's go to back where this was used from. Oh, that was not the right spot. Here. Yeah, because it just passes the full list basically to generate requirements image, which is the same exact thing that the learn one is doing. So I think inside of here, there's some logic that says like, if it's a tuple, then draw the directory and draw all the stuff inside of it. So by modifying this, we might be good. So let's save this and then let's run it against the example again. Go back to the bundle. I will delete generated images. I will paste the updated one of these that we just made. Overwrite. This did all the learn stuff. Okay, yeah, let's try char LCD and make sure that one's not broken. This one shouldn't have been affected because it didn't have a directory in it. Okay. That's still looking good. No problems there. That's good. So now we can do the clue one. Aha, there we are. Okay. Now we don't have the empty space, so the primary problem is resolved. And I would say that the sort of secondary problem that this revealed was that, for instance, bitmap text, bitmap text, is that the name of that library? Bitmap font also had an empty space in it. And the real problem here is that bitmap font, it needs that folder. Bitmap font, CircuitPython, GitHub. Examples. So this has a fonts folder, and you need this fonts folder to run the examples. You don't need every single font for every single example, but each example uses a font from in that folder. So you need to have that folder on your CircuitPy drive. So, you know, in the case of the clue one, we don't really need advanced examples. But in the case of bitmap font, we do need fonts, and we do need all the files inside of it. So do we have an easy way to decide whether or not we would need the folder? So I mean, the most brute force way, I guess we could just keep a list of like, if the folder is one of the ones with these names, then use it. So like fonts or images or something else that would be required. We might still miss something if a new one comes along that we didn't put in our list. Could try to look at the files inside of it. If the files inside of it have a certain type. I don't know if that's probably not foolproof though. Like sometimes they might be images, sometimes they might be fonts. Even within fonts, there's different types that it could be, BDF, PCF. So we could do, there is like an ignore file. There is like an ignore file. This. I think it's this. Python skip. Ooh, I didn't find anything. Hey, stop. I grabbed my leg. Skip screenshot. So this could work. We could just add this file into any directories we don't want to include. And then any of them that don't have this file would get drawn. Can we... What happens if we target this one? Okay, so that works fine. Advanced.py. That's no problem. We said if this is probably supposed to be recurse. I should be editing this in the same folder. And I should be doing it in the repo for the screenshot maker. And also I should be on a new branch, truthfully. Okay. So let's say here we just say if this is not in the list of files, then add it on files. If it has this skip screenshot file, which is just an empty file with a special name, then it won't include it. So now let's make one, see if it works. Drivers, blue, examples, advanced examples. Oh, that's not gonna work. Yeah, it's just an empty text file. Cancel. Okay. So let's delete clue simple test and clue advanced. Okay, let's make sure advanced still works. Shouldn't change the behavior of advanced, I don't think. Yeah. It's fine. Simple test, this one it should change. Perfect. We don't have advanced anymore. But bitmap font helpers drivers? No? Drivers? Map dash font. I don't know why I can't autocomplete. Isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work, right? Yeah. Bitmat. There we go. Gotta spell it right. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, this is actually pretty good, but the problem is it thinks these .license files are folders. And they should just be text, I think, the same way boot out is, and they shouldn't have a triangle. But it did draw the directory and its contents, so that's pretty good. So I guess this would be inside of header, I think. I think it calls the header basically everything before lib is considered the header, as far as this function here is concerned. Okay, so it's making CircuitPy, it's making these hidden files, it's making boot out, it's making CodePy. That part's fine. Loop over the files. Here is that thing I was talking about where it's checking if it's a string or a tuple. So this would still be at the top level. Fonts would be the cur file while it's looping through this. It would be a tuple. It creates, well, it has a dictionary. It puts a key as the name of the directory, so fonts. And it puts a value as the list of files inside of it. Okay, draw all the project files to draw. Then loop over the project folders to draw, make line. So fonts we would want it to make with the triangle, that makes sense. For subfile, here we go. File type icon map is taking the extension, which is saying split the file on the dot, get the last part of it. So that would be like .license. It's looking it up in this map to decide the triangle icon and the actual file icon as well. So we should be able to just go to this map and add. I should do this in the other one and copy it in. App. License. File icon. File empty icon. File empty icon? Text is file empty icon. It looks like file icon gets applied to CodePy, and that one's got code stuff in it, so it's file empty is what we would want. File empty. Save that, copy this in. Okay, close this. Delete this. Run again. Bitmap font. Perfect. I think we're there. Yeah. This is what we want. So licenses now are files instead of folders. Shows all the fonts in there. Technically, I guess the licenses could be skipped. You don't need them on the drive for it to work, but It's also probably good to put them on the drive in case you go and reuse that font. You have the license for it right there. Also don't know how we could write, I mean, we could write logic that says skip it if it's a license file, but there could be other kinds of files we want to skip as well. I don't know how we could determine that very well for every single type that could come up. So I think we're probably good on this. And I didn't really change the project style creating. So if I run this, all of my project ones should still look fine. Nothing should have changed there. Since we changed like get files for example, I think that's the only part that should be different. Unless, I guess, if it finds a license file, that would be different. It would show the right icon for it. So let's just do a quick check on a few of these. Make sure that things are looking all right. So far, so good. I'm going to look at NeoTrellis, M4. This one. Okay, this is still looking good. So these seem to be pretty good still. So I'm going to grab a screenshot of the one that was originally reported with the problem and the clue one and the bitmap font one. Okay. Clue. And I guess we would need to put that do not include in the other one. That skip file. This was a Circuit Playground one. Circuit Playground, Blue Fruit Play MP3. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I think we got this. Let's close these. Look at our changes. We added the new file type for license inside the map. It's the only thing in this file. Get imports. We inside of get files for example. We changed the logic to use walk instead of lister. Oh, we could get rid of this. We use walk, we loop over all the things from our walk output. We loop over all the directories as well. If they don't contain the skip file, we add them to the list that gets passed to the generate image. And we fixed the recurse typo. That's it. Looks good to me. Already in a new branch, examples with directories. Fix image for examples. Let's say for library examples that contain directories. Should push to foamyguy. Number 9. This change fixes the images that get generated of library example folders. They contain directories. Previously was a bug causing directory not to get shown, but still having an empty line with a space created for it. Resolves number 9. Skip screenshot. Okay, just gonna throw in these screenshots and check over my message, and then I think we'll be good. Okay. I don't know how I must have clicked over to the wrong tab or something. Okay. Make sure this looks good. Results number 9. Is that the right number? Yep. Guess I could note again this part. Okay. That is looking good to me. Let's take another quick peek at the changes. Make sure nothing crazy snuck its way in. Changing from lister to walk. Changing what we iterate over. We no longer have this more hacky way to tell if it was a directory or not, because we know it's a directory because walk tells us by including it in the thing at one index inside the thing it returns. Loop over all of those. It does not contain skip file, then we include it in found files. If we wanted to be a little bit more efficient, I guess we could forego doing all of this in the case that this file exists. Technically, like, we would do all this work and then find this file and then just throw away the results, basically. Which is not ideal, but I also don't think it's going to take that long. I don't think it's like really that big of a problem, but it could be made more efficient. If it checked this sooner before it did some of this work, then we could save doing it, but see if that's a big concern or not. And we fixed the typo. Yeah, that's all looking good. So I guess I should have ran pre-commit, right? Yeah, I didn't run pre-commit. So is this going to pass? Yeah, I think it's going to pass. This failed because I have a copy of the bundle. And I don't have a license file for it. an old bundle anyway. Probably, I guess, this file too. Well, it's not checked in. Still count? Yeah, it does. An idea, which also are not checked in. I wish we could make reuse. Maybe that's worth a minute to Google here. I don't know, is reuse Python? Reuse? I don't know, program? So, see, things with such general names like this are hard sometimes to search for information about. Like, reuse is such a general term that, like, I can't find stuff related to it. Here we go, reuse tool. Reuse tool. Pretty sure this is what we run. So can we say reuse tool, ignore files not added to repo? Not possible. That's a bummer. But does it skip git ignore? Does it skip the git ignore? I guess, but like, there are some files it just legitimately doesn't apply to. Like, these are files generated by my IDE. They're not getting checked in, they're not part of the project. They shouldn't really be subject to projects' workflows. So I guess it's not in here. If it were in here, would they get ignored? Yes. Okay. Okay. That's fine then. That's fine. Yeah, we don't need a separate way to ignore. Well, I mean, it still would be nice if it would just not do things not checked in, even if they're not in the git ignore. I mean, it's not part of the repo. Now it passes. So it does ignore things that are in git ignore. So I kind of want to check this in. Should I just include this in the same PR? Okay. Did it actually pass? Yeah. I think I'm going to add one more commit to do that. I'll undo it if somebody says not to, but git ignore. Okay. So it's going to run again, and it should still pass again. Should not really change the results in GitHub at all. All right, I'm going to run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Should I request Jeff or CircuitPython librarians? I guess is there not CircuitPython librarians on this one? Yeah, because this is in the CircuitPython organization. It doesn't have CircuitPython librarians, so I guess I will request Jeff, and we can get some other folks to look at it if Jeff can't, or if Jeff thinks there might be somebody better, then could tag him and see what he thinks. So, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the restroom, and then I'll do a little bit of PR reviewing, and then probably be wrapping up a little early today as well. So, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Two more vitamins. Finish off this coffee. Whoops. Okay. So this, I think, is pretty much tied up. We'll see what Jeff says, if anything sticks out to him, but I think we're good here for now. So that was really the main thing I wanted to do on the stream today. The stuff I'll do with the remaining time is I will review some type PRs. I know there's some type PRs open. We've had a few folks that are graciously contributing the typing, and I have been I was on top of them for the during October for Hacktoberfest, but it has been a week or so since I've really gone through and reviewed the ones that are open. So I'm gonna do some of those. BLI.io. Okay, so it looks like Dan has checked this one over. I didn't actually know this. I would have assumed the default was none. Typing import is first, which is important. Okay, reset is a pin. Set high is a boolean. IO0 is a pin. Busy is a pin. Chip select TXRX. Spy is a bus device. Spy. Bus IO spy. Mode. Yep, those are definitely ints. Turns an adapter. It's probably a class defined in this file. Is that right? E32. Oh no, adapter, it's from BLEIO. Okay. And we do have that inside the try, which is good. That means it won't actually get imported on the microcontrollers, which is what we want. Bug is boolean, spy. Returns an adapter. This returns none. Added that to the mocks. Spy. Spy. Why would this return the spy? It does though. Return the spy object. Okay. Yeah, so this is looking good to me now. Mode's definitely an int. Debug is definitely a boolean. Be nice if we would add debug to the doc strings here as well. But that could be a separate issue in PR. That's really more on the read the doc side than it is on the type hint side. Both achieve similar things, like adding it here would allow it to show up on the read the docs page, which is really nice, but it is pulling from like separate, it's a separate thing technically than the typing. Typing is for Python to understand, and like the IDEs draw stuff around it, not read the docs. So yeah, this is looking pretty good to me. Let me just make sure there's nothing unresolved that Dan mentioned. They were talking about maybe using something else instead of mocking BLEIO. But it didn't work. I said just use the mock. Yeah, none. Go resolve. So this one got resolved. Yeah, this looks good. It's on reset. Yeah, it's definitely taken care of. Okay. Merge this. For folks that haven't seen the library review and release cycle, that's what we'll be doing here. So PR comes in, PR gets reviewed. As long as it's good, gets approved. Once it gets approved, it gets merged. Once it's been merged, then we make a new release for it. And then the next day, after we make a new release for it, is when it will start getting included in the bundle. So if you were to download the Python bundle, not MPY, I don't think, because MPY, I believe it strips out the typing information. So in this case, it wouldn't really make a difference in the MPY. But if you download the Python bundle, or if you download this library from PyPy, after we make this release, then it will be the updated version, and it will have the typing information. So to make a release, we're going to go draft a new release. Going to edit this one so we can copy text. What are you getting into? Stop it. Why you gotta play with everything, buddy? That's not yours. 1 second, I'll be back. Alright. Okay, wants to bat around this little USB wire. Alright, so this version includes typing information. Tektrick, I think, worked on this, right? Which this person has done a bunch of typing PRs and also a bunch of other PRs lately. Yeah, Tektrick. Buddy. Includes, we spelled wrong. Okay, so we're gonna go, hey. 1.0.2, create a new tag. Ow, stop. Your problem. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. Stripey Cat has been fed, so hopefully he'll stop chomping my leg. Alright, so we made a tag. We can go 1.0.2 typing formation added. Okay. And I don't know, yeah, we can close the close this, closed by 6. I didn't actually close it. Okay. Typing annotations. Let's do this one. I think this one is probably good too. I was looking at this one yesterday. Yeah. Data is returned as an int. Yeah, so they did test this. The clue. You return ints. Okay. Yeah, these are all ints. Makes sense. That would definitely be a float when it gets returned. Okay, typing imports first. To see. I don't know if we would want any on this. Int, 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 int. Returns none, returns the rotation. I mean, really, acceptable values should be in the setter more so than the getter, but not that big a deal. Maybe it takes the same doc string, honestly. Maybe it's smart enough to pull it from the property for the setter. Enable gesture. Self.gesture enable. Does that return a boolean? Sure, enabled is an RW bit. Enable gesture. Not sure if this would be a Boolean. I'm gonna grab my clue, and then we can just run it and check the type like they did on the other one there. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab the clue. Okay. Need a USB. Oh. Okay. Clue plugged in. Here it is. We're gonna go here. TO. Enable gesture. Sure. REPL. Paste. Cannot import. Right, I have had this problem before. It's super difficult to work around. So the problem is when you paste into the REPL on the clue, sometimes it just changes what you put. So 9960 is what I pasted, but it came through different. Oh, that is makes it difficult to test things. Okay. I'm gonna do just this line. Module. Drop the A. It was there when I copied it, so yeah, it just does not copy paste correctly. This is why I actually usually don't like to test things on the clue that need the REPL. Let me see, maybe this is fixed, I guess. Let's try 7. Yeah. Put out the 60 again. You just can't copy paste into the REPL. It just doesn't work right. I don't know why. Okay, so let's just stop trying. CircuitPy temperature. This looks like a simple test. We can delete it. Let's just take this. But let's get rid of this. Right, yeah, I'm looking at this backwards anyway. The property is a Boolean, it's getting set to a Boolean. The setter would return none, which it does. Yeah. This does make sense. The getter gets a Boolean. Setter takes a Boolean, returns none. Rotated gesture. These do return ints. This one would also be an int. Zero to 3 is an int. Zero to 3 still is an int. Returns none because it's a setter. Color data ready. 0 or 1. Color data are ints. That's what the other person tested. Proximity interrupt threshold. Cool. And save it. Int. Int. Okay, it's looking good. Returns none because it's a setter. Zero to 255. Set it to an int, return none. Proximity 0 to 255. One just has a side effect, clear interrupt. Returns none. 0 to 255 is an int. Integration time will be 0 to 255 again. And in 1 byte of data. Okay. And is int returns none. And is int. Returns an int because it's getting bytes, getting 1 byte of data. It's returning 2 bytes of data, but still is an int. These colors are int. We return a float. This is similar to the one that I already looked at and that got changed from floats. Calculate lux. Definitely going to return a float. Okay. Yeah, this is all looking pretty good to me. So I got the clue here and already set up. I guess we could also just try out the simple test or something. Just make sure there's no issues there. I don't really anticipate any, but give it a try. Let's go here, GHPR list, Adafruit, GHPR checkout 36. Copy this to our device. Close learn guides, we could close bundle. Workspace, go to lib. Delete, old one. You could paste over it, that'd be fine too, but I'm superstitious. Sometimes I like to delete and then paste. I'll just pasted stuff in here. Let's undo that. Here we go. Yeah, it looks like I just pasted it to the wrong spot though. Yeah. In lib. Fix that. Okay. Now let's grab simple test. Code. What's in my boot pie? Oh yeah, I don't need this to be running. This was somebody was asking one day how to like carry data from bootpy to CodePy, and I got interested in that question and made a proof of concept that saves data in bootpy inside of a JSON file on the drive, and then there we go. Simple test is working, getting proximity distances. It saved the JSON in bootpy and then read it back in CodePy. Simple test seems fine. And of course the neat thing here is like, now we have this here. Like we know it's going to be an int. This is what the type information gives us in IDEs is we can like control hover this. At least that's the command in PyCharm, and it tells me the type that we're expecting. That's like the main benefit we're getting out of this right now. It's pretty cool. Does seem to be working, and the type hints are working as well because we see int here. We would not see, of course, if we if we went back to main, for instance. We gave this a second to sync or whatever. I guess I figured it out. Yeah, it looks like it took a guess somehow based on what I returned and did figure it out, but sometimes it's not going to be able to. And so then adding the type annotations, we're actually telling it specifically so it doesn't have to keep chasing down through the calls and figure out the type itself. But it is pretty good at making a guess. Okay, so we could say HPR create view. I can approve it from here. View. I'll just do it from the web. I think you can put the number, you can do review, you can do like -- approve. Did all of it one day, but that's all right. We'll head back to the interface. So this did all look good to me. They mentioned this buffer. It's declared as none, but it's used in gesture. Yeah, this is fine for now. So we're also not, like right now we haven't added to CI, the actual check that does this. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. It says in the issue. What's that thing called? PyType or MyPy? That's what it is, MyPy. We haven't actually added the MyPy check to actions yet, so we're not really worried about 100% fully passing every single check that it does. Really, the main thing we wanted with this first pass, at least in my mind, was to get rid of functions that don't have any typing whatsoever. There's still other steps we'll need to take. We want to be completely type safe, which is what MyPy is trying to do when you run it. But we are not trying to go all the way there in one pass. We just want to fill out the functions that didn't used to have types, which it looks like has been done fine on this PR. Simple test still worked. So I think we're good. This one. Approve. Okay. Approve. Merge. Make a release as well while we're here. And we can close the issue too, actually. Okay. Issue, let's make a release. Tag 228. Whoa, no, we don't want to do that. Oh. I didn't even know what that was. There must be a power button. My keyboard, weird. 2 point. Uh-oh. Can't type anymore. Just key works. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Five, 6, 0. I don't know why they're not showing up. 5, 6, 0. Yeah. Okay. Publish. Perfect. Alright, another one down. This is not a type 1. Funhouse is next. I2C and SPI FRAM. I don't think I have any of those. Is there anything with built-in? Oh, look at that. This is like the new style breakout. This matches all the newer boards that Lady Ada has made, but it doesn't have well, it's SPI, I guess, which makes sense why it wouldn't have stemma. It's interesting though, like I'm so used to seeing the little stemma connectors on the end of this form factor. Looks like it's either the I2C one, SPI one in the old style, the SPI one in the new style. Let's see. So one of the cool things about, oh, I'm not logged in though. I say one of the cool things about the site is it will tell you if you bought something before. It's possible I did buy one of these at some point. I don't actually know. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so that seems interesting, but I don't have the device to test it with, so I'll have to pick that up on my next order. That hasn't been reviewed by then. Okay, this one's been done. Merged, so that's good. Hmm. I'm less sure about this first change because this is for the library code. Person mentioned that it also, this PR contains changes from this other PR, but this other PR in the library code doesn't have that duplicate code disable. Okay, typing is first. URL is an optional string. Headers is a dictionary string. Should it be optional dictionary? Since it can be none? JSON path. Optional union. So it's either a list of strings or a list of lists of strings. Regex path, optional sequence string. Default background. This is a color, I'm pretty sure, so int does make sense. Status dot star. Imported from dot star, which makes sense. JSON transform, optional union. It's either a function or a list of functions. Rotation int, scale int, debug bool. Turn none. All the rest of that seems good to me. Float. This is float. Returns none. Well, background again is an int because it's a color. Station is an int, 270. Fail, debug. Okay, same thing in this file. Dot star, optional dot star. Extract values boolean, yep, true is boolean, debug, false is boolean. Turns none. Is an IO MQTT. We need to import that? Where does it get this class from, I wonder? I'll probably wrap it up after this one. Got some other stuff I gotta take care of today. Might be wrapping up a few minutes earlier than normal, but Funhouse. Glad I got that screenshot resolved. That was really the main thing I wanted to be sure to get done today. So let's go up. Let's go fetch. Fetch, get remote, HB. Origin, get remote, rename, origin, foamyguy. Get remote, add, Adafruit. Do this, paste it. Change this. Get fetch Adafruit. GHPR list. GHPR checkout 24. And we're looking at Funhouse network.py. And we're inside of init IO MQTT. Init IO class. Class comes from Adafruit IO. We have already imported that, or we have? Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Does it get used beyond that? Is that the only place it's used? No. Oh, maybe. Used for a type here. No, okay, it's called here. So we definitely do want to import it like normal. If it was used just for typing, we could include it in that try except, but it's also called. We need it to get imported on the microcontroller, so it does look good. Okay. Broker is a string. Port is an int. Username is a string. Password is a string. Used IO is a boolean. This returns either an MQTT or an IO MQTT. Same thing for this. Press errors, boolean. So args and quargs. Get passed to loop. Are those actually ints? The MQTT loop. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with MQTT. This doesn't accept anything. Cannot find. I'm out. Does look like an int. Okay. Publish. There's string int or float. Arg string int or float. So this is where some of these, like, if we wanted to be completely type safe, we should probably break out the arguments we want to send and the keyword arguments and actually give them names instead of just passing args and kwargs up. It makes the code shorter to just pass args and kwargs and just know, like, be able to trust that you got the right ones, but eventually we'll probably want to give them actual names. On MQTT connect, takes a callable, that makes sense. Setter, takes a callable, same type we got back from the getter, that makes sense. On disconnect, same thing, callable, it's a function. Scribe, same thing, thing. Unsubscribe, oh yeah, this one's unsubscribe, but same thing, so it's a callable. Message enabled is Boolean, that makes sense. Set it to a Boolean. Aha, this we need to put in try catch. Okay. None from init, frequency is a float. Duration. A tone. It looks like this should be int float, maybe? Okay. These are probably hex colors, I'm guessing, which is why int, so that makes sense. It's none, returns none. Boolean. For all the buttons. Cap sense. Slider is a float. Peripherals.light. Sure. Funhouse is over there. Guess we could try this out real quick. Yeah, let me do that. This could be, I'm not sure if this is an int or a float, so. Funhouse. Oops. Yeah. That's annoying. Why did I do that? REPL is really nice sometimes, but really frustrating sometimes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is an int. Temperature, and relative humidity and pressure. Not samples for those ones. Oh, hate that. Can't do this. I can't do this from here. It's driving me crazy. Okay, temperatures definitely float. Humidity is definitely afloat. Pressure. Float. Okay. LED, Boolean, makes sense. Boolean, IR sensor. IR sensor. I don't have one hooked up. Okay, it's definitely Boolean though. But yeah, it won't do anything because I don't actually have it plugged in. Okay, so the rest of this stuff looks fine. I got a couple comments. The rest of it looks good. Who did this one? Tech Trick? Yeah. Okay, I think that's going to do it for the day. Yeah, so we got the screenshot library fixed. Put the PR in. Oh, Jeff reviewed. Let me look. Don't have time to review. No worries. Someone else can. I'm so ignoring files created. When it comes to creating files, created your preferred coding environment, it's easiest to add the necessary ignore lines. A global git ignore? I didn't even know that existed. A global git ignore? Huh. Okay. I will do that real quick, I guess. Let's do that, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So let's go back to library, screenshot this. We're going to undo git ignore. I'll have to look into how to make my global one, because that would definitely make my life easier. For sure. Okay. Good. Okay. Drop that in the Discord, see if anybody can. So review, we reverted our change to git ignore, so that's back to normal. Yep, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, or anyone who is watching this in the future. If you're interested in this kind of stream, you can check me out at the same time pretty much every week. I stream starting at 10 a.m. Central Time on Saturdays, so that was right about 3 hours ago is when I started. And I stream at that time pretty much every week. So if you want to watch along, you can catch me on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm always in the live broadcast chat room as well that we have pulled up on the stream there. So check me out at that time. I think Scott mentioned not doing a deep dive in a couple of weeks. I want to say maybe he said 2 weeks. The week of Thanksgiving maybe. I am not 100% sure, but as long as I don't have anything else going on that night, that Friday night, then I'll plan on streaming that night as well when there's no deep dive on. So if I'm remembering that right, I got to go back and see what Scott actually said. But when he does not do deep dives on Friday, I will generally stream on Friday night for a little bit. I usually start about an hour later than the normal deep dive. So you can check that out in a couple of weeks as well, if indeed he is taking that night off on the Friday. But otherwise, it's Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Central. Check me out. Thank you again to everyone who is watching, and I'll catch you all next week. Thanks.